My dear child, I speak to your heart this morning with words that will transform the very foundation of your understanding about who you are and why you were born. Today, January 7th, 2026, marks a divine appointment in your spiritual calendar, a moment when heaven intersects with earth in your personal journey, and I am about to reveal to you the magnificent purpose that has been waiting in the chambers of eternity for this very moment to be unveiled. You have wondered, haven't you, about your place in this vast tapestry of existence? You have questioned whether your life carries significance beyond the mundane routines and daily struggles that seem to define your current reality. You have felt stirrings in your spirit, whispers in quiet moments, and inexplicable urgings that point towards something greater than what your natural eyes can perceive. Today, I am here to tell you that those stirrings are not coincidental. Those whispers are not imaginary, and those urgings are not mere wishful thinking. They are the voice of your divine destiny, calling you home to the purpose for which I breathed life into your being, before the foundations of the world were laid, before stars danced in their celestial choreography, before mountains rose from the deep and rivers carved their paths through the earth. I knew you. I saw you not as you are today, but as you were destined to become. In the secret chambers of eternity, I crafted a plan so intricate, so perfectly suited to your unique design, that every fiber of your being, every gift, every talent, every experience you have encountered was specifically woven into the fabric of your existence to prepare you for this moment when your true calling would be revealed. You are not an accident, my child. You are not a random occurrence in the cosmic dance of existence. You are not here by chance or as an afterthought in my grand design. You are a masterpiece, carefully conceived, lovingly crafted, and purposefully positioned for such a time as this. The very breath that fills your lungs this morning carries within it the power to fulfill destinies, to heal hearts, to transform lives, and to establish my kingdom in places where darkness has reigned for far too long. I have watched you struggle with feelings of inadequacy, with voices that whisper lies about your worth, your capabilities, and your potential. I have seen you compare yourself to others, measuring your gifts against theirs, your progress against their achievements, your calling against their testimonies. But today, I am silencing those voices forever and replacing them with the truth that echoes from my throne room. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, equipped with everything necessary to fulfill the purpose I have assigned to your life. Your calling is not generic, my beloved. It is not a one-size-fits-all assignment that I distribute randomly among my children. Your calling is as unique as your fingerprint, as distinct as your DNA, as individual as the very thoughts that flow through your mind. The gifts I have placed within you, the passions that ignite your soul, the burdens that break your heart, the dreams that refuse to die despite every obstacle life has thrown at them. These are not random elements of your personality. They are divine indicators, heavenly breadcrumbs leading you to the feast of purpose I have prepared specifically for you. Some of you reading these words have been called to the marketplace, to transform businesses, to establish companies that will operate on kingdom principles and demonstrate my love through excellence, integrity, and compassion. Your boardrooms will become altars, your business plans will become blueprints for blessing, and your influence will extend far beyond profit margins to touch the very souls of those who work with you and for you. Others among you have been called to the healing arts, to be my hands and my heart in hospitals, clinics, and healing centers around the world. Your touch will carry my anointing, your words will speak life into dying situations, and your presence will bring peace to those who are walking through the valley of the shadow of death. You will not merely treat symptoms. You will address the whole person, bringing healing to body, mind, and spirit. Some of you carry the calling of the teacher, the educator, the one who will shape young minds and nurture growing hearts. Your classrooms will become sanctuaries of learning. Your lessons will plant seeds of wisdom that will bear fruit for generations. And your investment in the lives of students will create ripple effects that will touch the ends of the earth. You will not simply impart knowledge. You will ignite destinies and awaken purposes in those who sit before you each day. There are those among you who have been called to the arts, to create beauty that reflects my glory, to craft music that touches souls, to paint images that reveal truth, to write words that change lives. Your creativity is not merely talent. It is a divine gift meant to pull back the veil between heaven and earth and allow others to glimpse the beauty of my kingdom. Through your artistic expression, hearts will be healed, minds will be renewed, and spirits will be awakened to their own divine potential. I have called some of you to technology, to innovation, to discoveries that will advance my kingdom and bless humanity. Your inventions will solve problems that have plagued generations. Your innovations will open doors to new possibilities, and your technological contributions will create platforms for the gospel to reach the unreached corners of the earth. Others among you carry the calling of the entrepreneur, the pioneer, the one who will create solutions where none existed before. Your businesses will be more than commercial enterprises. They will be vehicles for transformation, platforms for ministry, and channels through which my love will flow to those who need it most. Some of you have been called to government, to positions of authority and influence where you will have the opportunity to establish just policies, to defend the vulnerable, and to create systemic change that will bless entire nations. Your political involvement will not be about personal ambition. It will be about kingdom advancement and the establishment of righteousness in the halls of power. There are those among you who carry the calling of the shepherd, the pastor, the one who will tend my flock with tenderness and lead my people with wisdom. Your pulpit will become a throne of grace, your words will carry the weight of heaven, and your heart will beat with the rhythm of my love for those who are broken, lost, and searching for truth. I have called some of you to missions, to cross-cultural ministry, to take my love to the nations. Your passport will become a ministry tool. Your travel will be divine assignments, and your willingness to leave comfort behind will open doors for the gospel in places where it has never been heard before. Others among you carry the calling of the intercessor, the one who will stand in the gap, who will wage warfare in the spirit realm, and who will birth my purposes through prayer. Your secret place will become a launching pad for miracles. Your prayers will shake kingdoms, and your intercession will release my power into situations that seem impossible to human understanding. Some of you have been called to social justice, to be my voice for the voiceless, to fight for the oppressed, and to establish equity where inequality is reigned. Your advocacy will not be motivated by political agenda. It will flow from a heart that beats with my compassion for those who have been marginalized and forgotten. There are those among you who carry the calling of the counselor, the one who will speak healing into broken hearts, who will guide the confused through life's complexities, and who will restore hope to those who have lost their way. Your office will become a place of refuge. Your words will carry the power to transform, and your presence will bring peace to troubled souls. I have called some of you to media, to influence culture through television, radio, internet platforms, and social media. Your content will not merely entertain, it will educate, inspire, and transform. Your reach will extend beyond demographics and geography to touch hearts that are desperate for truth, hope, and authentic love. Others among you carry the calling of the scientist, the researcher, the one who will unlock the mysteries of creation and use that knowledge to bless humanity. Your discoveries will reveal more of my glory. Your research will lead to breakthroughs that heal diseases and solve global challenges. And your work will demonstrate that faith and science are not enemies, but partners in revealing truth. But regardless of the specific nature of your calling, my beloved child, there are certain characteristics that every divine assignment carries. Every calling from my heart comes wrapped in love, seasoned with grace, and empowered by my Spirit. Every purpose I reveal comes with the promise that I will never leave you, nor forsake you as you walk it out. Every divine assignment comes with the guarantee that I have already prepared the way before you and provided everything you need for success. Your calling will stretch you beyond your comfort zone, but it will never stretch you beyond my ability to sustain you. It will challenge your faith, but it will also strengthen your trust in me. It will require sacrifice, but the rewards will far exceed anything you give up in the process. It will demand courage, but I will be your strength when you feel weak. It will ask for obedience, but my grace will make the path possible even when it seems impossible. I know some of you are thinking that you are too young, too old, too inexperienced, too broken, too wounded, or too ordinary to be used by me in any significant way. Let me address each of these lies that the enemy has whispered into your heart, for they are designed to keep you from stepping into the fullness of what I have prepared for you. If you think you are too young, remember that I called Samuel when he was just a boy. I used David when he was still tending sheep, and I chose Mary when she was just a teenager. Age is not a limitation in my kingdom. Faithfulness is the only requirement. Your youth brings with it fresh perspective, unbridled passion, and the energy needed to pursue dreams that seem impossible to those who have been worn down by life's disappointments. If you believe you are too old, consider that I called Abraham when he was 75, I used Moses when he was 80, and I spoke through Anna when she was 84. Experience is not a liability in my kingdom. It is an asset that brings wisdom, patience, and the depth of understanding that only comes through years of walking with me. Your maturity provides the foundation needed to handle the weight of the assignment I am placing upon your shoulders. If you feel too inexperienced, remember that I chose fishermen to be my apostles. I used a teenager to kill a giant, and I spoke through a donkey to redirect a prophet. Experience in worldly terms is not the qualification I look for. Availability and willingness are the only prerequisites for divine service. Your lack of experience in human terms means you are less likely to rely on your own strength and more likely to depend on mine. If you think you are too broken, consider that I used Peter after he denied me. I spoke through Paul after he persecuted my church, and I blessed David after his moral failure. Brokenness is not a disqualification in my kingdom. It is often the very thing that qualifies you to minister to others who are walking through similar struggles. Your scars become your credentials, your wounds become your wisdom, and your healing journey becomes the roadmap you offer to others who are struggling to find their way. If you believe you are too wounded, remember that I bore stripes for your healing. I carried your sorrows to the cross, and I rose from the dead to prove that death has no final say in any story that includes me. Your wounds do not define your worth or limit your potential. They become the very places where my power is most clearly displayed, where my grace shines brightest, and where others can see that healing and restoration are not only possible, but promised. If you think you are too ordinary, consider that I was born in a stable, raised in Nazareth, and spent 30 years in obscurity before beginning my public ministry. Ordinary is exactly what I prefer to use because it leaves no doubt about where the power comes from when extraordinary things begin to happen. Your ordinariness ensures that the glory goes to me, rather than to your natural abilities or advantages. The truth is, my beloved child, that I do not call the qualified. I qualify the called. Every person who has ever been used by me in any significant way started exactly where you are today, uncertain, imperfect, inadequate in their own eyes, but available to be used by the one who specializes in turning ordinary people into extraordinary testimonies of divine grace and power. Your preparation for this calling has been taking place throughout your entire life, even in ways you do not yet understand. Every trial you have endured has built character and resilience within you. Every disappointment has taught you the difference between temporal and eternal values. Every victory has increased your faith and confidence in my ability to work through you. Every relationship has provided lessons in love, forgiveness, and human nature that will serve you well in the days ahead. Even your mistakes and failures have been part of my preparation process in your life. I have allowed you to experience the consequences of wrong choices not to punish you, but to teach you wisdom and humility that will protect you in the future. I have permitted you to feel the pain of failure not to discourage you, but to develop within you the compassion needed to help others who are struggling with their own shortcomings. Every book you have read, every conversation you have had, every experience you have encountered, every skill you have developed, every interest you have pursued, all of these have been divinely orchestrated to prepare you for the assignment I am about to reveal. Nothing in your life has been wasted. Nothing has been coincidental. and nothing has been without purpose in my grand design for your existence. Today, I am activating gifts within you that have been dormant, awakening abilities that have been sleeping, and stirring up potential that has been waiting for this moment to be released. You will begin to notice ideas flowing through your mind that seem to come from nowhere. You will find yourself drawn to opportunities that align perfectly with the desires I have placed in your heart. You will encounter people who have exactly the connections, resources, or knowledge you need to move forward in your calling. This is not coincidence, my child. This is divine orchestration. This is heaven aligning with earth to create pathways for your purpose to be fulfilled. This is my hand moving behind the scenes to open doors that no man can shut, and to close doors that are not part of your divine assignment. But with this activation of your calling comes a responsibility that I need you to understand clearly. You are not being called to serve yourself, to build your own empire, or to achieve your own glory. You are being called to serve my purposes, to advance my kingdom, and to bring glory to my name. Your success will be measured not by worldly standards of fame, fortune, or recognition, but by faithfulness to the assignment I have given you and the impact you have on the lives of those I send into your sphere of influence. There will be times when the path seems unclear, when obstacles appear insurmountable, and when criticism from others makes you question whether you truly heard from me. In those moments, I want you to remember this morning when my voice spoke directly to your heart and confirmed what your spirit has always known, that you were born for more than mediocrity, created for more than conformity, and destined for more than the ordinary life that so many settle for. Your calling will require sacrifice, but the sacrifice will always be followed by blessing that far exceeds what you gave up. You may have to leave behind relationships that do not support your divine assignment, but I will provide relationships that will encourage, support, and propel you forward in your purpose. You may have to step away from opportunities that seem attractive but are not aligned with my plan for your life, but I will open doors to opportunities that will exceed your wildest dreams. You may have to invest time, energy, and resources into your calling before you see any return on that investment. But I promise you that I am keeping careful record of every seed you sow in obedience to my direction, and the harvest will come at exactly the right time in exactly the right way. There will be people who misunderstand your choices, who question your priorities, and who try to discourage you from pursuing the path I have revealed. Some of this opposition will come from those closest to you, from family members and friends who are concerned about your departure from conventional wisdom and safe choices. Remember that I faced similar opposition during my earthly ministry, and every prophet who has ever spoken for me has encountered resistance from those who could not see with spiritual eyes what I was accomplishing through seemingly unconventional methods. Do not allow the opinions of others, no matter how well-intentioned, to deter you from the assignment I have given you. Do not let fear of failure keep you from attempting what I have called you to do. Do not permit the voice of past disappointments to convince you that this time will be no different. This is your time, this is your season, and this is your moment to step into the fullness of everything I have prepared for you. I am not asking you to have a complete understanding of every step of the journey before you begin walking. I am not requiring you to see the end from the beginning, or to have all the answers before you take the first step. Faith, by its very nature, involves stepping out into the unknown with confidence that I am who I say I am, and that I will do what I have promised to do. Abraham left his homeland without knowing where he was going, trusting only that I would show him the way step by step. Moses confronted Pharaoh without knowing how the deliverance would unfold, believing only that I had the power to accomplish what I had promised. David faced Goliath without a detailed battle plan, depending only on the certainty that I fight for those who trust in me. In the same way, I am asking you to begin where you are with what you have, taking the first step that I reveal to you and trusting me to illuminate the path as you walk it. The entire journey will not be revealed at once, but each step will be made clear as you take the previous one in obedience and faith. Some of you will begin your calling right where you are, in the job, the city, the circumstances where you currently find yourself. I will transform your current situation into a platform for ministry, a launching pad for purpose, and a training ground for the greater things that lie ahead. Others will need to make significant changes, relocating to new cities, changing careers, or restructuring their entire lifestyle to align with what I am calling them to do. Whatever changes are required, I will provide the wisdom, the resources, and the courage needed to make them. I will go before you to prepare the way. I will walk beside you to provide companionship and encouragement, and I will come behind you to ensure that nothing is lost or wasted in the transition process. Your calling will evolve and expand as you prove faithful in small things and demonstrate your readiness to handle greater responsibilities. What I am showing you today may be just the beginning of a much larger assignment that will unfold over months, years, or even decades. Each phase of your calling will prepare you for the next phase, building upon previous experiences and deepening your understanding of my heart and my ways. Do not despise small beginnings, for even the mightiest oak tree starts as a tiny acorn. Do not minimize the significance of seemingly minor assignments, for faithfulness in little things positions you for authority over much. Do not rush the process or try to skip steps in your development, for every phase is necessary and serves a purpose in preparing you for what lies ahead. I want you to understand that your calling is not separate from your relationship with me. It flows from it. The deeper your intimacy with my heart grows, the clearer your understanding of your purpose becomes. The more time you spend in my presence, the more attuned you become to my voice and my direction. The stronger your foundation in my word, the more stable you will be when storms of opposition and challenge arise. Make time for me every day, not just to receive direction for your calling, but to cultivate the relationship from which your calling springs. Prioritize worship, prayer, and the study of my word, not as religious obligations, but as life-giving disciplines that keep you connected to the source of all power, wisdom, and grace. Surround yourself with others who are also pursuing their divine calling, who understand the challenges and victories that come with walking out purpose in a world that often values profit over principle and fame over faithfulness. Find mentors who have walked the path before you and can offer wisdom, guidance, and encouragement when the journey becomes difficult. Be willing to serve as a mentor to others who are just beginning to discover their own calling and need the benefit of your experience and insight. Remember that your calling is not in competition with anyone else's calling. There is room in my kingdom for every gift, every talent, every passion, and every purpose I have placed within my children. The body has many parts, each with its own function, and every part is necessary for the whole to operate effectively. Your role is not better or worse than anyone else's role. It is simply different, specifically designed for you and perfectly suited to the contribution I want to make through your life. Celebrate the success of others without feeling diminished by their achievements. Learn from those who are operating at higher levels in their calling, without being intimidated by the gap between where you are and where they are. Encourage those who are struggling in their journey without feeling superior, because you may be further along in certain areas. The kingdom operates on principles of collaboration rather than competition, of multiplication rather than division, of abundance rather than scarcity. There is enough blessing, enough opportunity, and enough success for everyone who is willing to pursue their divine calling with diligence, integrity, and faith. Your calling will require you to develop skills you do not currently possess, to learn things you have never studied, and to grow in areas where you are currently weak. Embrace this as part of the adventure, rather than seeing it as an obstacle. Every expert was once a beginner, every master was once a student, and every person operating in their divine calling once stood exactly where you stand today, uncertain but willing to trust me for the outcome. Invest in your own development, pursue education and training that will enhance your effectiveness in your calling, and never stop learning and growing in your chosen field. Read books, attend conferences, take courses, find mentors, and surround yourself with information and influences that will sharpen your skills and broaden your understanding. But remember that technical competence alone is not sufficient for fulfilling your divine calling. Character is more important than capability. Integrity matters more than intelligence. and faithfulness is more valuable than talent. I am looking for people who will represent me well, who will honor my name through their conduct, and who will demonstrate my love through their interactions with others. Your character will be tested as your calling unfolds. You will face decisions between what is expedient and what is right, between what is profitable and what is honest, between what advances your agenda and what serves others' interests. In those moments, choose character over convenience, integrity over advantage, and righteousness over reward. These choices will establish your reputation, protect your testimony, and position you for greater trust and responsibility in the future. Your calling may lead you through seasons of obscurity when it seems like nothing is happening and no one is noticing your efforts. Do not grow discouraged during these times or assume that I have forgotten about you or changed my mind about your assignment. These hidden seasons are often the most important times in your development, when character is being formed, skills are being honed, and the foundation is being laid for the public phases of your calling. Joseph spent years in prison before becoming second in command in Egypt. David tended sheep for years before becoming king of Israel. Jesus worked as a carpenter for 3 decades before beginning his public ministry. Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness before leading the Exodus. Paul spent 3 years in Arabia before beginning his apostolic ministry. Your season of preparation is not wasted time. It is invested time. Every day you spend developing your gifts, building your character, and growing in your relationship with me is a day that is preparing you for the platform I will eventually provide. Use these seasons well, and when the time comes for your calling to be revealed publicly, you will be ready for the weight of the responsibility and the magnitude of the opportunity. Your calling will also involve seasons of intense activity when opportunities come rapidly, when doors open in quick succession, and when it seems like everything is happening at once. During these seasons, do not become overwhelmed by the pace or lose sight of the priorities I have established for your life. Stay grounded in my word, remain connected to wise counselors, and remember that I am the one orchestrating the timing of everything that is happening. Do not say yes to every opportunity that presents itself, even if they seem aligned with your calling. Seek my guidance for each decision, and be willing to say no to good opportunities in order to say yes to the best opportunities I have prepared for you. Quality is more important than quantity, and strategic focus is more valuable than scattered activity. Your calling will impact not only your own life, but the lives of countless others who will be touched by the gifts I express through you. Some of these people you will meet face to face. Others you will influence from a distance without ever knowing their names or hearing their stories. Some will be immediately and obviously impacted. Others will experience the ripple effects of your obedience years or even decades after your initial act of faithfulness. Never underestimate the far-reaching consequences of walking in your divine calling. Every person who is healed through your ministry may go on to heal others. Every student you teach may become a teacher who influences hundreds more. Every business you start with kingdom principles may inspire other entrepreneurs to operate with similar values. Every song you write, every book you author, every sermon you preach, every product you create has the potential to touch lives in ways you will not fully understand until eternity. This is why it is so important that you take your calling seriously, that you pursue excellence in everything you do, and that you remember that you are not just building your own legacy, but contributing to the advancement of my kingdom and the blessing of my people around the world. Your calling will require courage, my beloved child, because it will ask you to do things that seem impossible, to believe for outcomes that appear unrealistic, and to stand for truth when it is unpopular. There will be moments when you feel like David standing before Goliath, when the giant of opposition seems so large and your resources seem so small that victory appears impossible. In those moments, remember that the battle belongs to me, that my strength is made perfect in your weakness, and that I have never lost a battle when my people have fought in faith and obedience. Remember that I have already won the victory through my death and resurrection, and you are simply walking out that victory in the specific area of your calling. Do not be intimidated by the size of the problems you are called to address, or the magnitude of the needs you are meant to meet. I am the God who speaks worlds into existence, who controls the elements of nature, and who has the power to do immeasurably more than anything you could ask or imagine. When I call you to tackle big challenges, I provide big grace, big wisdom, and big power to accomplish what seems impossible to human understanding. Your calling may require you to learn new languages, to travel to unfamiliar places, to work with people from different cultures and backgrounds, or to operate in environments that are completely outside your comfort zone. Embrace these challenges as opportunities for growth, adventure, and the expansion of your understanding of the world I have created. I am the God of all nations, all cultures, and all peoples. My heart beats with love for every tribe, tongue, and nation, and your calling may be part of my plan to bridge divides, build understanding, and demonstrate that my love transcends every human barrier that separates people from one another. Be willing to be stretched beyond your cultural comfort zone, to learn from people who think differently than you do, and to find common ground with those who may seem completely different from you on the surface. Often, the greatest growth comes when we step outside our familiar circles and discover the richness that exists in the diversity of my creation. Your calling will involve spiritual warfare, because whenever anyone begins to operate in their divine purpose, the enemy of their soul becomes threatened and responds with opposition, discouragement, and attack. Understand that this spiritual resistance is actually confirmation that you are on the right track and that your calling poses a threat to the kingdom of darkness. Prepare yourself for this warfare by putting on the full armor I have provided, by learning to use the weapons of warfare that are not carnal but mighty for pulling down strongholds. Learn to pray with authority, to speak my word with power, and to stand firm in the faith regardless of what circumstances look like around you. Remember that the enemy can only operate within the boundaries I allow, and that every attack against you must first pass through my hands. What the enemy means for evil, I will turn for good. What he intends for your destruction, I will use for your development. What he designs to stop your calling, I will transform into stepping stones that take you to higher levels of effectiveness and influence. Do not fear the spiritual opposition that will come. Fear only being disobedient to the calling I have placed upon your life. The enemy cannot destroy what I have blessed, cannot stop what I have ordained, and cannot defeat those who walk in faith and obedience to my word. Your calling will also bring tremendous joy, fulfillment, and satisfaction that can only come from knowing you are living in the center of my will and using your life for the purposes I intended when I created you. There is no substitute for the peace that comes from knowing you are exactly where you are supposed to be, doing exactly what you are supposed to be doing, with exactly the people you are supposed to be serving. This joy will sustain you through difficult seasons, energize you when you feel tired, and motivate you when you face obstacles. It is the joy of purpose, the satisfaction of contribution, and the fulfillment of living a life that matters beyond your own existence. You will experience moments of divine confirmation when I speak directly to your heart, when doors open in miraculous ways, when provision comes from unexpected sources, and when you see clearly that my hand is upon your life and my favor is surrounding you like a shield. Treasure these moments, record them for future encouragement, and let them build your faith for the challenges that lie ahead. There will also be moments of human connection when you meet people who have been praying for exactly what you have to offer, when you provide a solution to a problem they have been struggling with for years, or when your presence brings comfort, hope, or healing to someone who desperately needed what you carry. These moments will remind you why your calling is so important and why it is worth every sacrifice and challenge required to fulfill it. Your calling is not just a job or a career. It is your contribution to the ongoing work of redemption, restoration, and renewal that I am accomplishing in the earth. Through your obedience to your divine assignment, you become a partner with me in the transformation of lives, communities, and nations. You become my hands to bless, my voice to speak truth, my heart to love, and my power to heal and restore. This partnership is the highest honor that can be bestowed upon any human being, the greatest privilege available to my children, and the most significant contribution any person can make during their time on earth. You are not just living your life. You are stewarding a divine assignment that has the power to change the course of history and impact eternity. As we bring this morning's message to a close, I want to leave you with specific steps to take as you begin walking out the calling I have revealed to your heart today. First, set aside time this week to seek me in prayer and fasting, asking for further clarity about the specific nature of your calling and the first steps you should take to begin pursuing it. Second, begin educating yourself about the field or area of ministry I am calling you to. Read books, attend seminars, connect with people who are already operating successfully in that area, and immerse yourself in learning everything you can about what you are called to do. Third, start small, but start somewhere. Look for opportunities in your current sphere of influence to begin exercising the gifts and abilities related to your calling. Volunteer at organizations that align with your purpose. Offer your services to help others in your area of gifting, and begin building experience and credibility in your chosen field. Fourth, surround yourself with people who believe in your calling and who will encourage you to pursue it even when the journey becomes challenging. Distance yourself from voices that consistently discourage, criticize, or undermine your confidence in what I have called you to do. Fifth, make the necessary adjustments in your lifestyle, your schedule, and your priorities to create space for your calling to grow and flourish. This may require saying no to some activities, relationships, or commitments that are not aligned with your divine assignment. Sixth, step out in faith and take the first concrete action I place in your heart, even if you cannot see how it connects to the bigger picture of your calling. Obedience in small things positions you for revelation about bigger things. Seventh, keep a journal of the insights, confirmations, opportunities, and breakthroughs that come as you begin walking out your calling. This record will serve as encouragement during difficult times and will help you track the faithfulness of my provision and guidance. My beloved child, today marks the beginning of the most exciting chapter of your life story. The calling I have revealed to your heart this morning is not a burden to be carried, but a gift to be unwrapped, not a demand to be met, but an invitation to be accepted, not a requirement to be fulfilled, but an adventure to be embraced. You have everything within you that is needed to succeed in this calling, because I am the one who has equipped you for it. You have my wisdom to guide you, my strength to sustain you, my love to motivate you, and my power to enable you. You are not walking this path alone. You are walking it with me, and together we will accomplish things that will bring glory to my name and blessing to countless lives. The world is waiting for what you have to offer. There are people who need exactly what you carry, problems that require exactly what you can provide, and situations that will be transformed by exactly what I want to accomplish through your obedience to this calling. Do not delay, do not hesitate, and do not second guess what I have spoken to your heart this morning. This is your time, this is your season, and this is your moment to step into the fullness of everything I have prepared for you from the foundation of the world. I believe in you, I am proud of you, and I am excited about everything we are going to accomplish together as you walk out the magnificent calling I have placed upon your life. Your divine assignment begins now, and I will be with you every step of the way. But before you step forward into this new chapter, I need you to understand the depth of my investment in your success. When I speak of your calling, I am not offering you a suggestion or a possibility. I am revealing to you a divine certainty, a heavenly guarantee, a promise sealed with my own blood and guaranteed by my unchanging nature. The calling I have placed upon your life is not dependent upon your perfection, your performance, or your ability to figure everything out correctly. It is based upon my character, my faithfulness, and my unwavering commitment to complete the good work I have begun in you. You see, my precious child, I do not call people to assignments and then leave them to figure out how to accomplish them on their own. I do not reveal purposes and then walk away, hoping they will somehow find the strength, wisdom, and resources needed to fulfill them. When I call you, I equip you. When I reveal your purpose, I provide everything necessary for its fulfillment. When I open doors, I prepare you to walk through them with confidence and authority. This morning, as you receive this word about your calling, I want you to understand that you are not just hearing about a future possibility. You are being activated into a present reality. The gifts that have been dormant within you are being awakened right now. The abilities that have been waiting for their moment are being stirred up in this very instant. The connections, opportunities, and resources you will need are already being aligned by my invisible hand working behind the scenes of your life. Your calling carries with it a divine DNA, a spiritual genetic code that makes it uniquely yours and perfectly suited to your personality, your experiences, your gifts, and your heart's deepest desires. I did not randomly assign you a purpose that has nothing to do with who I created you to be. Instead, I crafted your calling around the very essence of your being, weaving it into the fabric of your identity so completely that pursuing it will feel like coming home to yourself for the first time. The dreams that have lived in your heart since childhood, the visions that have sustained you through difficult seasons, the hopes that have refused to die despite every disappointment you have faced. These are not merely human aspirations or wishful thinking. They are echoes of your divine calling resonating through your spirit. Glimpses of the purpose I planted within you before you were even born. Previews of the life I designed for you to live. Today, I am giving you permission to believe those dreams again. I am restoring your right to hope for the seemingly impossible. I am rekindling the vision that perhaps you had given up on, thinking it was too big, too late, or too far beyond your current circumstances to ever become reality. Those dreams were not accidents, coincidences, or delusions. They were my voice, speaking to your spirit about the destiny that awaits your obedience. Some of you have been carrying calling and purpose in your heart for years, but fear has kept you from stepping into it. Fear of failure, fear of criticism, fear of not being good enough, fear of the unknown. Fear of the cost involved in pursuing something bigger than your current reality. Today, I am here to address every fear that has held you back and to replace it with faith that will propel you forward. Fear of failure is perhaps the most common obstacle that prevents people from pursuing their divine calling. You look at the magnitude of what I am asking you to do, and you immediately begin calculating all the ways it could go wrong, all the reasons why you might not succeed, all the potential embarrassment and disappointment that could result from attempting something so far beyond your current capacity. But failure is not the opposite of success in my kingdom. It is simply a stepping stone to success, a teacher that provides valuable lessons, and a refiner that burns away everything that is not essential to your ultimate victory. Every person who has ever accomplished anything significant for my kingdom has experienced what the world would call failure along the way. But I do not see these experiences as failures. I see them as training, preparation, character development, and course correction. When you step out in faith to pursue your calling and encounter obstacles or setbacks, you are not failing. You are learning, growing, and being prepared for the greater success that lies ahead. The fear of criticism is another barrier that keeps many of my children from stepping into their divine calling. You worry about what family members will say when you make decisions that do not align with their expectations or understanding. You are concerned about the opinions of friends who may not share your vision or appreciate the changes that pursuing your calling will require in your life. You are afraid of critics who will question your motives, your qualifications, or your chances of success. But I want you to understand that criticism is inevitable for anyone who chooses to live beyond the ordinary, who dares to attempt something that requires faith, and who refuses to settle for the mediocrity that is accepted by those who have never heard my voice calling them to something greater. The very people who criticize your pursuit of divine purpose are often those who have abandoned their own dreams, who have chosen safety over significance, and who are threatened by your willingness to risk comfort for calling. Do not allow the fear of criticism to rob you of the destiny I have prepared for you. The opinions of those who do not understand your calling are irrelevant to the success of your assignment. What matters is my approval, my direction, and my empowerment, working through your obedience. and faith. The fear of inadequacy is perhaps the most subtle but dangerous fear that attacks those who are being called to divine purpose. This fear whispers that you do not have enough education, experience, resources, connections, or natural ability to accomplish what I am asking of you. It points to your weaknesses, your past mistakes, your current limitations, and your lack of credentials as evidence that you are not qualified for the calling that is stirring in your heart. But this fear fails to take into account the supernatural dimension of divine calling. When I call you to something, I do not expect you to accomplish it in your own strength, wisdom, or ability. I call you to be a vessel, a conduit, an instrument through which my power, wisdom, and ability can flow to accomplish what needs to be done. Your inadequacy is not a liability. It is an asset that ensures that glory goes to me rather than to your natural capabilities. Moses felt inadequate when I called him to confront Pharaoh and lead the Israelites out of Egypt. He pointed to his speech impediment, his lack of leadership experience, and his past failures as reasons why he was not qualified for the assignment. But I did not choose Moses because he was adequate. I chose him because he was available, and I provided everything he needed to succeed in what I had called him to do. Gideon felt inadequate when I called him to deliver Israel from the Midianites. He pointed to his family's insignificance, his own sense of weakness, and the magnitude of the challenge as evidence that I had chosen the wrong person for the job. But I did not need Gideon to be adequate. I needed him to be obedient, and I demonstrated my power through his willingness to follow my instructions. The same principle applies to you, my beloved child. I am not calling you because you are adequate for the assignment. I am calling you because I have chosen you for this purpose, and I will provide everything you need to accomplish what I have planned. Your job is not to figure out how to become qualified. Your job is to say yes to my call and trust me to equip you as you walk forward in obedience. The fear of the cost involved in pursuing your calling is another obstacle that prevents many from stepping into their divine purpose. You look at what you might have to give up, sacrifice, or invest in order to pursue what I am calling you to do, and the price seems too high. You worry about the financial investment required, the time and energy you will need to devote, the relationships that might be affected, or the security you might have to surrender in order to step into the unknown territory of your calling. But what fear does not tell you is that the cost of not pursuing your calling is far greater than the cost of pursuing it. The regret of living a life below your potential, the frustration of never fully using the gifts I have placed within you, the emptiness of achieving worldly success while missing divine purpose, and the eternal consequences of failing to fulfill the assignment for which you were created. These costs far exceed any temporary sacrifice required to step into your calling. Furthermore, I am not asking you to pay the costs associated with your calling alone. I am your partner in this endeavor, your provider in times of need, and your sustainer through every season of your journey. When you invest in your calling, you are not making a risky speculation. You're making a guaranteed investment that will yield returns far beyond anything you could imagine or calculate. The resources you need will come as you need them, not necessarily before you need them. The relationships that are meant to be part of your journey will be strengthened by your pursuit of purpose, and those that are not aligned with your calling will naturally fade away to make room for better connections. The security you think you are giving up by pursuing your calling is often a false security based on things that can be taken away, while the true security found in walking in your divine purpose is based on my unchanging promises and eternal purposes. Your calling also comes with a divine timeline that is perfectly orchestrated by my wisdom and coordinated with my purposes for others whose lives will intersect with yours. You may feel impatient to see everything happen quickly, or you may feel like you are starting too late in life to make a significant impact. But my timing is always perfect, taking into account not only what is best for you, but what is best for everyone who will be affected by your obedience to your calling. Sometimes I call people to their primary purpose early in life, allowing them to spend decades building and expanding the work I have given them to do. Other times I prepare people through various experiences and seasons before revealing their ultimate calling later in life, when they have the wisdom, maturity, and resources needed to handle the assignment effectively. There is no standard timeline for divine calling. There is only the perfect timing that aligns with my purposes and produces the greatest good for all involved. Do not compare your timeline to someone else's timeline, and do not assume that because you are just discovering your calling now that you are behind schedule. You are exactly where I need you to be at exactly the right time for your purpose to be fulfilled in exactly the right way. The experiences you have had up to this point, the skills you have developed, the relationships you have built, and the character you have formed have all been preparing you for this moment when your calling is revealed and your assignment begins. Your calling will also require you to develop a different relationship with time, money, and material possessions than the one promoted by the world around you. The world teaches that time is money, that success is measured by accumulation, and that security comes from hoarding resources. But the kingdom operates on different principles that produce different results and lead to different destinations. In the kingdom, time is not just money. Time is opportunity to impact eternity. Every moment you invest in your calling, every hour you spend developing your gifts, every day you dedicate to pursuing your purpose is time that has the potential to produce fruit that will last forever. The world measures time by productivity and profit, but I measure time by faithfulness and eternal significance. Money and material possessions are not the goal of your calling. They are tools to be used in service of your calling. I may bless you financially as you pursue your purpose, not so you can accumulate wealth for its own sake, but so you can have the resources needed to accomplish what I have called you to do and to bless others who are walking out their own divine assignments. Security does not come from what you can accumulate and control. Security comes from knowing that you are in the center of my will, walking in your designed purpose, and partnered with the one who owns everything and controls all outcomes. When you anchor your sense of security in your calling rather than in your circumstances, you develop an unshakable confidence that sustains you through every season and every challenge. Your calling will also transform your understanding of success and failure, of winning and losing, of what really matters in life and what is merely temporary distraction. The world defines success as achieving personal goals, accumulating resources, gaining recognition, and exercising power over others. But kingdom success is defined as faithfulness to divine assignment, positive impact on lives, advancement of righteousness, and the establishment of God's purposes in the earth. You may appear unsuccessful by worldly standards while being tremendously successful by kingdom standards. You may be unknown to the world while being celebrated in heaven. You may have little in terms of material wealth while being rich in spiritual influence and eternal reward. Learning to measure your success by the right standard is crucial to maintaining motivation and direction as you pursue your calling. Failure, in kingdom terms, is not about making mistakes, encountering setbacks, or falling short of your goals. Failure is about not attempting what you know you are called to do, not using the gifts and opportunities you have been given, and not walking in the purpose for which you were created. By this definition, many people who appear successful by worldly standards are actually failing in the most important areas of life, while many who appear to be struggling or making slow progress are actually succeeding magnificently. Your calling will involve seasons of planting and seasons of harvest, times of sowing and times of reaping, periods of investment and periods of return. Learning to recognize which season you are in and how to operate effectively in each season is essential to long-term success in your divine assignment. During planting seasons, you will be investing more than you are receiving, giving more than you are getting, and working more than you are being rewarded. These seasons can be discouraging if you do not understand their purpose and their temporary nature. But planting seasons are not punishment or indication that your calling is not real. They are necessary preparation for harvest seasons that will far exceed the investment required during planting. During harvest seasons, you will see the fruit of your previous investment, receive the rewards of your faithfulness, and experience the joy of purpose fulfilled. But harvest seasons are not the time to become complacent or to stop planting for future harvests. They are times to celebrate God's faithfulness, to gather resources for the next planting season, and to prepare for the next level of your calling. Understanding these seasons will help you maintain proper perspective during difficult times and wise stewardship during prosperous times. Both seasons are necessary, both serve important purposes, and both are opportunities to grow in faith, character, and effectiveness. Your calling will also require you to develop a kingdom mindset about competition, collaboration, and community. The world operates on scarcity thinking, believing that resources are limited, opportunities are finite, and success is a zero-sum game where someone else's victory means your defeat. This mindset creates competition, jealousy, and isolation among people who should be working together. The kingdom operates on abundance thinking, recognizing that God's resources are unlimited, that His creativity can produce unlimited opportunities, and that one person's success creates opportunities for others to succeed as well. This mindset promotes collaboration, celebration, and community among people who are all pursuing their divine callings. When you see someone else succeeding in an area similar to your calling, your first response should not be jealousy or comparison, but rather celebration and connection. Their success proves that God is blessing that type of calling, that there is an audience or market for what you have to offer, and that breakthrough is possible for those who persist in their divine assignment. Rather than viewing others in similar callings as competition, see them as potential collaborators, mentors, or partners in advancing the kingdom purposes you all serve. There is room for everyone to succeed, and often the greatest success comes through strategic partnerships and collaborations between people whose callings complement each other. Your calling will impact not only your professional life but every area of your existence, including your relationships, your health, your finances, your recreation, and your spiritual growth. Walking in divine purpose has a way of bringing alignment to every aspect of life, creating a coherence and integration that produces peace, joy, and effectiveness in all areas. Your relationships will be transformed as you begin operating in your calling. Some relationships that were based on your old identity or your previous season will naturally change or end as you grow into your new assignment. This can be painful, but it is necessary to make room for the relationships that are meant to support and enhance your divine purpose. New relationships will form with people who share your vision, understand your calling, and can contribute to your success while benefiting from your contribution to their lives. These divinely orchestrated relationships will provide encouragement, accountability, resources, and opportunities that propel you forward in your purpose. Your health will be impacted as you begin living with greater purpose, direction, and fulfillment. Stress that comes from living below your potential will be replaced by the energizing effect of walking in your calling. The depression and anxiety that often accompany a sense of meaninglessness will be replaced by hope, excitement, and anticipation about what each day will bring. Your finances will be affected as you align your life with kingdom principles and divine priorities. You may need to make initial investments in your calling that temporarily strain your budget, but as you prove faithful in pursuing your purpose, I will provide the resources needed not only for your personal needs, but for the advancement of your calling. Your recreation and leisure activities will likely change as you discover new interests related to your calling, and as you prioritize activities that refresh and prepare you for your assignment, rather than activities that merely provide escape from an unsatisfying life. Your spiritual growth will accelerate as you discover that walking in your calling requires deeper dependence on God, greater intimacy with His heart, and more consistent application of spiritual disciplines. Your calling will drive you to prayer, push you into the Word, and draw you into worship as you recognize your absolute need for divine guidance, wisdom, and power. As this morning's revelation draws to a close, I want to speak directly to the specific doubts and questions that may be arising in your heart, even as you receive this word about your calling. Some of you are thinking that this message sounds wonderful, but wondering if it really applies to your specific situation. You may be thinking that your circumstances are too complicated, your problems are too big, your resources are too limited, or your past is too damaged for God to use you in any significant way. Let me address each of these concerns with the truth that will set you free from the limitations that have kept you from stepping into your divine purpose. If your circumstances are complicated, remember that I specialize in bringing order out of chaos, creating beauty from ashes, and producing good outcomes from complex situations. The more complicated your circumstances, the more glory I receive when I demonstrate my power to work all things together for good for those who love me and are called according to my purpose. If your problems seem too big, remember that I am bigger than any problem you could ever face. The challenges in your life are not obstacles to your calling. They are the very problems your calling is designed to address. Often, God calls people who have personally experienced a particular difficulty to minister to others who are facing similar challenges. Your problems may be preparation for your purpose, rather than barriers to your destiny. If your resources seem too limited, remember that I own everything and have unlimited access to whatever you need to fulfill your calling. Some of the greatest moves of God in history have come through people who had very limited natural resources, but unlimited access to supernatural provision. Your lack of resources may be exactly what I want to use to demonstrate my ability to provide everything needed for divine assignments. If your past seems too damaged, remember that I am the God of redemption, restoration, and new beginnings. I do not call people because of their perfect past. I call them because of their promised future. Some of the most powerful testimonies come from those who have been broken, wounded, and seemingly disqualified, but who have experienced my healing, forgiveness, and transformation. The calling I am revealing to your heart this morning is not dependent upon your past performance, your current circumstances, or your natural resources. It is based upon my choice, my power, and my commitment to complete what I have begun in your life. Today, January 7th, 2026, marks the end of the season of wondering and the beginning of the season of walking out your divine assignment. Today marks the end of making excuses and the beginning of taking action. Today marks the end of living below your potential and the beginning of stepping into the fullness of what I have prepared for you. Your calling awaits your response. Your assignment awaits your acceptance. Your destiny awaits your decision. Will you say yes to what I have revealed to your heart this morning? Will you take the first step toward the purpose that has been calling your name since before you were born? Will you trust me enough to step out of your comfort zone and into the adventure of divine purpose? The choice is yours, my beloved child. But know this: I am for you. I am with you. And I am working on your behalf to ensure your success as you walk out the magnificent calling I have placed upon your life. This is your moment. This is your time. And this is your invitation to step into the greatest chapter of your life story. Your divine calling awaits, and I will be with you every step of the way as you answer the call and fulfill the purpose for which you were born. As you prepare to close this time of communion with me and step into your day with fresh revelation about your divine calling, I want to leave you with 7 prophetic promises that will anchor your faith and sustain your hope as you begin this journey of purpose. These promises are not conditional upon your performance or dependent upon your circumstances. They are guaranteed by my character and sealed by my covenant love for you. First, I promise you that I will never give you an assignment without also providing the anointing to accomplish it. Every calling comes with divine enablement, supernatural empowerment, and heavenly resources that far exceed what human effort alone could produce. When you feel overwhelmed by the magnitude of what I am asking you to do, remember that my grace is sufficient for you, and my strength is made perfect in your weakness. Second, I promise you that I will send the right people into your life at exactly the right time to support, encourage, and assist you in your calling. You will not walk this journey alone. Divine connections are already being arranged. Strategic relationships are being prepared, and key partnerships are being orchestrated behind the scenes. Trust my timing and remain open to the people I bring across your path. Third, I promise you that I will provide the resources you need when you need them. This may not always look like what you expect or come through the channels you anticipate, but my provision is guaranteed for those who walk in their divine calling. Sometimes provision comes through supernatural miracles, sometimes through natural means, and sometimes through the generosity of others who are blessed to be part of your journey. Fourth, I promise you that I will give you supernatural wisdom to navigate every challenge, make every decision, and solve every problem you encounter in the pursuit of your calling. You do not have to rely solely on your natural intelligence or human understanding. I will grant you insight that surpasses human wisdom, discernment that sees through confusion, and understanding that brings clarity to complex situations. Fifth, I promise you that I will open doors that no man can shut and close doors that are not part of your divine assignment. You do not have to strive to force opportunities or manipulate circumstances to create openings for your calling. I am orchestrating divine appointments, arranging perfect timing, and creating opportunities that are specifically designed for your unique purpose and giftings. Sixth, I promise you that I will give you the courage to face every fear, overcome every obstacle, and persist through every season of difficulty you encounter on the path to fulfilling your calling. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is faith in action, despite the presence of fear. I will strengthen your heart, fortify your resolve, and embolden your spirit for every challenge that lies ahead. Seventh, I promise you that I will bring beauty from your ashes, strength from your struggles, and purpose from your pain. Everything you have experienced in your life, including the difficulties and disappointments, will contribute to the effectiveness and authenticity of your calling. Your testimony will become your ministry, your overcoming will become your offering, and your victory will become your voice to help others find their way to freedom and purpose. These 7 promises form an unshakable foundation for your faith as you step into the adventure of divine calling. Write them down, memorize them, declare them over your life, and return to them whenever doubt, fear, or discouragement tries to derail your progress. They are my covenant commitments to you, and they will prove faithful in every season and through every challenge you face. Now, before you step into your day and begin taking action on what I have revealed to your heart, I want you to pause and make a declaration of faith that will activate heaven's response to your obedience. Speak these words aloud with confidence and conviction, knowing that they carry the weight of divine authority and the power of prophetic proclamation. Declare, "Today I accept the divine calling that God has placed upon my life. I say yes to His purposes, yes to His plans, and yes to His assignment for my existence. I refuse to be intimidated by the magnitude of what He is asking me to do, discouraged by my current limitations, or deterred by the opinions of others who do not understand my calling. I choose to trust God's timing, rely on God's provision, and walk in God's strength as I pursue the purpose for which I was created. I reject every lie that says I am not qualified, not ready, or not worthy of the calling He has revealed. I embrace my identity as His chosen vessel, His beloved child, and His trusted partner in the advancement of His kingdom on earth. I commit to developing the gifts He has placed within me, nurturing the vision He has given me, and pursuing the dreams He has ignited in my heart. I will invest in my calling through education, training, and personal development. I will surround myself with people who support my divine assignment and distance myself from voices that consistently discourage my pursuit of purpose. I will take the first step today, trusting God to illuminate the path as I walk it. I will plant seeds of obedience, knowing that the harvest will come in His perfect timing. I will celebrate the small victories, learn from the temporary setbacks, and persist through every season until my calling is fully manifested and His purposes are completely fulfilled through my life. I declare that my life will count for eternity. My legacy will outlive my lifetime, and my impact will extend far beyond what I can see or imagine. God will receive glory through my obedience, others will be blessed through my faithfulness, and His kingdom will be advanced through my willingness to step into the fullness of everything He has prepared for me. This is my declaration of faith, my statement of commitment, and my covenant of partnership with the God who has called me to this magnificent purpose. My beloved child, as you have spoken these words of faith and commitment, heaven has taken note of your response to my call. Angels have been assigned to assist you in your journey. Divine resources have been released to support your assignment, Supernatural favor has been activated to open doors and create opportunities that align with your calling. The journey that begins today will not always be easy, but it will always be worth it. There will be moments of difficulty, but there will also be moments of incredible breakthrough and blessing. There will be seasons of planting that require patience and faith, but there will also be seasons of harvest that exceed your wildest dreams and expectations. Remember that you are not pursuing your calling alone. I am with you in every step, every decision, every challenge, and every victory. My spirit will guide you, my word will instruct you, my love will motivate you, and my power will enable you to accomplish everything I have planned for your life. Trust the process, embrace the journey, and hold fast to the vision I have given you. Your divine calling is not just about what you will accomplish for me. It is about who you will become in the process. Every step of faith will increase your confidence. Every act of obedience will strengthen your character, and every season of growth will prepare you for greater levels of influence and impact. This morning marks the beginning of a new chapter in your life story, a chapter that will be written with the ink of faith, authored by divine inspiration, and read by generations who will be impacted by your willingness to answer my call and fulfill your divine purpose. Go now with my blessing, my favor, and my absolute confidence in your success. Your divine calling awaits your response, and I will be faithful to complete the good work I have begun in you. This is your time, this is your season, and this is your moment to step into the magnificent destiny I have prepared for you from the foundation of the world. The tears of joy flowing down your cheeks right now are tears of recognition, tears of homecoming, tears of destiny awakening within your spirit. You were born for this moment, created for this calling, and destined for this divine assignment. Every breath you take from this day forward carries the potential to transform lives, change circumstances, and establish my kingdom purposes in the earth. Your ordinary life is about to become extraordinary. Your hidden gifts are about to be revealed, and your divine calling is about to be fully activated. The world needs what you carry. Heaven celebrates what you have received, and eternity awaits what you will accomplish through faith, obedience, and unwavering trust in my perfect plan for your magnificent life. Your journey of purpose begins now, and I will never leave you nor forsake you as you walk boldly into the calling that has always been yours to fulfill. Go forward in faith, my beloved child, for your time has come, your assignment is clear, and your victory is guaranteed through my unfailing love and unlimited power working through your surrendered and obedient heart. This is the day your true life begins, and nothing will ever be the same again. Your divine calling starts today, and together we will accomplish the impossible, transform the ordinary, and establish the extraordinary purposes I have ordained for your beautiful, meaningful, and eternally significant existence.